Hey everybody, welcome back to Miller Time.
It's good to be back.
We know you're all busy out there, but before you head to the job site,
Yeah.
let's do a quick deep dive into this week's Toolbox Talk.
Oh, sounds good.
All about hand safety.
Very important.
Super important.
You know, it's something we talk about a lot.
Right.
But the numbers tell a story we can't ignore.
You're telling me, and I was blown away by some of these stats in this Toolbox Talk.
Yeah.
Get this, last year alone,
Okay.
Miller Pipeline had 20
Whoa.
recordable hand injuries. 20, that's nearly half
Yeah.
of all the recordable injuries we had company-wide.
Yeah, you know, it really just highlights how often hand injuries can happen.
It's a wake-up call for sure.
For sure.
And, I tend to think of hand injuries as like a Miller-specific thing.
Right.
Uh-huh. But the Toolbox Talk had some nationwide stats
Yeah.
that really put it in perspective for me.
Oh, yeah. It's a much bigger issue than a lot of people realize.
Right.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports over 110,000 lost time cases each year
Wow.
due to hand injuries.
That's crazy.
And over 1 million workers end up in the ER because of them.
1 million.
1 million.
That's crazy.
That's a big number.
Yeah, that's sobering.
Yeah.
But here's what really got me.
Okay.
The Toolbox Talk mentioned that 70% of workers who suffered hand injuries weren't even wearing gloves.
Oh, wow.
I mean, come on, gloves are like safety 101, right?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? I think it often boils down to complacency.
Right.
We do the same tasks day in and day out,
Yeah.
and maybe we start to feel invincible or we rush
Yeah.
and figure, I'll just be quick, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I've definitely been guilty of that myself a time or two, just this once.
Oh, yeah.
I tell myself, but those just this once moments
Yeah,
can really come back to bite you.
absolutely.
And then the Toolbox Talk also mentioned that 30% of hand injuries
Okay.
happen even when people are wearing gloves.
Wow.
That's wild.
That's where choosing the right glove for the job becomes crucial.
Okay.
A lot of times injuries happen because the gloves being worn
Uh-huh.
simply aren't adequate for the task at hand.
So it's not just about wearing gloves, it's about wearing the right gloves.
Exactly.
Makes sense. The Toolbox Talk breaks down the 3 most common types of hand injuries.
Okay.
Lacerations, crush injuries, and fractures.
Let's start with lacerations.
Right.
These are your cuts, slices, punctures,
Mm-hmm.
anything involving sharp edges or tools.
Right.
And, even gloves made from materials like Kevlar,
Yeah.
which are designed for cut resistance,
Right.
can be penetrated by a direct stab.
Oh, wow. So even the tough gloves have their limits.
Absolutely.
Right.
Then you have crush injuries.
Okay.
Think about the kinds of equipment and materials we work with at Miller.
Right.
Heavy pipes, powerful machinery.
On that stuff.
Crush injuries happen when your hand gets caught between objects,
Mm-hmm.
inside a piece of equipment,
Oh, yeah.
or at those pinch points we all know too well. It doesn't take much force to do serious damage.
Just thinking about that makes my hands tingle.
Yeah.
Okay, and then fractures.
Those sound equally as painful.
Fractures usually happen from a sudden impact. Maybe you instinctively reach out to break a fall, or maybe a heavy object falls on your hand.
Yeah.
It's that sudden force that leads to broken bones.
Okay, so we've covered the scary stuff, the types of injuries we're trying to avoid.
Right.
But what can we actually do to protect ourselves?
Right.
The Toolbox Talk had a whole section on safe work practices.
It did.
What were some of the highlights?
Well, first and foremost, it's about awareness.
Oh,
You know the saying, never put your hand where you can't see it?
words to live by.
That applies to everything we do.
Right.
And then there are specific tools and techniques that can help.
Okay.
Using push sticks when operating a table saw,
Okay.
for example, keeps your hands safely away from the blade.
Makes sense.
And using safety knives that limit blade exposure and have those handy retractable features. Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of those retractable knives.
Those can significantly reduce the risk of cuts.
For sure, they're so much safer than those old school utility knives.
Very much safer.
But, we were just talking about how even the right gloves can have their limitations.
Right.
Can you give us some examples of how to choose the right glove for different tasks?
You bet if you're dealing with sharp edges, you'll want gloves with cut-resistant materials like Kevlar or steel mesh
Mm-hmm.
if chemicals are involved.
Okay.
You need gloves made from materials that can withstand those specific chemicals.
Okay.
Nitrile latex or neoprene are common choices.
Okay, so it's all about matching the glove to the hazard. I never really thought about it that way before.
And if you're working with heat, you need heat-resistant gloves.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
It's not just about throwing on any old pair of gloves.
And even when you're wearing the appropriate gloves,
Right.
you still have to be mindful. Don't let the gloves give you a false sense of security.
Right, gloves are a tool, not a magic shield. Now, before we move on,
Okay.
there's one more important safety topic we need to address from the email.
Right.
And it's not directly related to hand safety,
Okay.
but it is relevant to overall safety on the road.
Okay.
And that's Colorado's new hands-free driving law.
Oh, yeah. That's a hot topic lately.
It is.
But you're right. It does tie into hand safety in a way.
It does.
If your hands aren't busy with your phone, they're free to, actually do their job and keep you safe.
Exactly.
So for anyone who hasn't heard, what's the deal with this new law?
Well, it officially went into effect on January 1st of this year, 2025.
Okay.
And it's pretty straightforward.
All right.
It's now illegal for any driver in Colorado to handle a mobile electronic device while driving, regardless of age.
So no more holding your phone up to your ear for calls.
Nope, hands-free accessories like Bluetooth are still allowed for phone calls.
Got it.
But actually holding your phone is a no-go.
Okay.
And it's not just about texting and driving anymore.
It's about any kind of interaction with your phone while the vehicle is in motion.
What about if you're pulled over on the shoulder? Is that...
Yes, there are exemptions for vehicles that are safely parked on the shoulder.
Okay.
But if you're driving, your phone needs to stay out of your hands.
Okay, that all makes sense.
Yeah.
But what happens if you get caught breaking the law?
Yeah.
What are the consequences?
The penalties are pretty serious. A first-time offender will be hit with a $75 fine and 2 points on their driver's license.
Wow.
If you get busted 2 or 3 times in the same year, the fines go up to $150 and $250 respectively.
Yikes. That's a good incentive to follow the rules.
It can get expensive pretty quickly.
Yeah, is there any way to get out of a ticket?
Well, there is one loophole.
Okay.
If you can prove that you've purchased a hands-free accessory, you can get your first violation waived.
Oh, really?
But that only works once.
So basically just get a hands-free setup and be done with it. How is Miller handling this new law internally? Are there any company-specific rules we need to be aware of?
Yes, definitely remember here at Miller.
Oh?
We've had a hands-free policy in place for a while now.
Right.
But going forward, violations of this policy will have even stricter consequences.
Wait.
We're talking about the potential loss of your quarterly bonus.
Wow.
And even possible termination.
They're not messing around. So the message is clear. Don't use your phone while driving.
Exactly.
It's not worth risking your safety, your job, or your bonus.
Safety has to be everyone's top priority, both on the job site and on the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a lot to take in.
It was.
We covered hand injuries, safe work practices, the new hands-free driving law.
It's a lot, but it's all important information for everyone at Miller.
It is. It really is a lot to remember.
It is, but think this is like your favorite energy drink.
Ooh.
It's like a quick boost
I like that.
to help you remember all the great stuff that's in there. Keep it top of mind.
In the full Toolbox talk.
Top of mind.
So don't forget
Yeah.
to read through that email.
Yes, very
And
important.
sign that PDF like
Yeah.
you always do.
Speaking of signing things,
Brilliant.
the email also mentioned some upcoming regional safety meetings.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Those are coming up.
Okay.
Looks like we have meetings in Denver, Pueblo, and Colorado Springs.
Which one should I go to?
Well, the Denver meeting is Monday the 13th at the Weld Shop.
Okay.
Pueblo's meeting is Tuesday the 14th at the shop there.
Okay.
And Colorado Springs is meeting Wednesday the 15th at the garage.
Oh, wow. So many options.
There is also a meeting in Greeley, but the date for that one is still TBD.
Okay. What time do these things start?
They all start bright and early at 7:00 a.m. sharp.
Okay, so if you're in those areas, make sure to mark your calendars and get to the meeting that works best for you.
Yes.
And remember, everyone's required to attend at least one safety meeting per month.
That's right. It's important to stay up to date on all the latest safety info and procedures.
Now, before we wrap things up, I have to ask about those Driver of the Month shout-outs
Oh, yeah.
in the email.
Yes.
Who are our safety superstars for December?
We've got a great lineup this month. Big congrats to Dave Wolf, Greg Jordan, Donovan Cox, David Flores, and Bob Williams.
All right. Give it up for those folks. They're setting a great example for all of us.
Absolutely.
What do they get for being so awesome?
Well, each of them gets a $25 gift card.
Nice.
And they're all entered into the $500 year-end drawing.
Oh, very cool. Talk about ending the year on a high note.
For sure, we'll be announcing the winner of that drawing at our next all-hands meeting.
Exciting. I can't wait to see who takes home the grand prize.
Uh-huh.
All right. I think that covers all the main points from this week's Toolbox talk and email.
Yeah, we packed a lot into this short, deep dive.
We did.
But it's all crucial information for staying safe and informed out there.
Absolutely. So Before we let everyone get back to their busy days,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with a little something to think about.
Oh.
We talk a lot about hand injuries and how common they are even here at Miller.
Right.
So my question for you is this. What's one small change you can make this week
Yeah.
to better protect your hands on the job?
Great question.
Could be something as simple as double-checking.
Yeah.
You're wearing the right gloves.
Yeah.
Or taking an extra moment to assess the risks before you start a task.
It's all about being proactive and taking those small steps that can make a big difference in the long run.
Exactly. Your hands are your most valuable tools. Let's treat them that way.
Couldn't agree more.
And of course, this was just a taste of all the great information in this week's Toolbox Talk.
Yes, it was.
So make sure to check out that email and PDF for all the details.
And don't forget to sign those signature sheets.
Yeah.
Want to make sure everyone's in the loop.
All right, everyone, that's it for this edition of Miller Time. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya. You know, it's easy to think, oh, hand safety, I've heard it all before.
Yeah.
But there's always something new to learn.
Right.
Some little detail that can make a big difference.
Absolutely. It's like anything else. You can always refine your skills.
Exactly.
And improve your knowledge.
So take the time to really absorb the information in the Toolbox Talk.
Yeah.
Ask questions if you have them.
For sure.
And most importantly, look out for each other out there.
Couldn't said it better myself. All right, everyone. That's it for this edition of Miller Time. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time.